Hello, this is Ghost Rider 615, and I am talking about Russia and Putin putting out artifacts that show people of color being in religious and spiritual hierarchy that people have not revealed in a long time. The Pope has also apologized and gave what we call a confession, but confession without compensation means little. And then, based on the pictures and the portraits that Russia put out, I was told and I saw a little excerpt of some Chinese individuals being upset that Jesus was portrayed as a man of color. And I don't know why they should be upset, because they've been bowing down to African gods for many, many, many generations in India and all over the world. I believe what has happened is that they got fooled, just like a lot of other people, into believing that, just like ourselves, believing that we had no contributions to history, when actually the foundations of history are beneath our feet. Right now, we may be in a sort of bondage in a lot of countries. A lot of countries actually do not want us in there. The funny part about it is things started in Africa and we populated the earth, okay? Many people, nobody wants you when you're down and out, and that record is so true, because many people want to align themselves with the powerful and the majority, or the minority that controls the majority, okay? But I don't know why the Chinese would be angry, because here is some proof about where your origins come from.
I'm meeting Professor Jin Li, one of China's leading geneticists. Recently, he led a project that set out to prove that the Chinese evolved independently from everyone else, from Homo erectus, here in China.
Before the project started, I was hoping that I could identify or could be able to find the evidence that support independent origin of Chinese in China, because I'm a Chinese and came from China, and through the education process, I always believed that there's something special about Chinese.
He singled out a male genetic marker which only appeared about 80,000 years ago in Africa. So any man who carries that marker must have recent African ancestors and can't be descended from the more ancient Asian Homo erectus. Jin took DNA from over 160 ethnic groups around East Asia, over 12,000 samples. And so, what did you find?
We did not see even one single individual that could be considered as the descendant of the Homo erectus in China. Rather, everybody was a descendant of our ancestors from Africa.
The result couldn't have been any clearer. How did that make you feel as a Chinese person?
Now, based upon that scientific information from Cheikh Anta Diop at the UNESCO conference in 1974, and also by the Robinson brothers, and their actually the footage that we saw on video, and also with the papers that they had, where some geneticists took some samples, and they also proved that humankind originated from Africans. And you can look at the Robinson brothers and their feature on DNA series to find that. Basically, I want to close with Dr. Henry Clark, a master teacher. And something that he said, we have to stop trying to prove who we are to people, because people already know, and the ones that don't know are ignorant to the fact. We have been ignorant to the fact of who we are, okay? And one of the things is, I'm not going to stop saying it, because the truth is right now needs to cover up the lie. The lie has been told so much that most people do not want to believe the truth, even if it's staring them in the face, especially if the truth actually is dressed up in a person of color, okay, heritage, okay? But one of the things we have to realize is that all people will have some type of African ancestry, okay? So, Dr. Clark states that he only debates his equals, all others he teaches. To be black and beautiful means nothing in the world unless we are black and powerful. Powerful people cannot afford to educate the people that they oppress, because once you are truly educated, you will not ask for power. You'll do like the Europeans. You will take it. The first light of human consciousness and the world's first civilizations were in Africa. The African man is the greatest fighting machine God ever created, but he won't act like it. Racists will always call you a racist when you identify their racism. To love yourself now is a form of racism. We are the only people who are criticized for loving ourselves. And white people think that when you love yourself, you hate them. No, when I love myself, they become irrelevant to me. Egypt gave birth to what would become known as the Western civilization long before the greatness of Greece and Rome. I'd like to say something, and this is not about being racist. You have to love yourself and respect yourself, or nobody else will, okay? Now, we are due respect. And Europeans have said some things and whitewashed a lot of history to make people believe that history started with them, but it's not true, okay? And I'd like to make another correction, is that we have to get away from this race stuff, because there's only one race. It's the human race. You may have a bunch of different ethnic groups, but you only have one race, and that's the human race. And we need to stop thinking in terms of that. When people first came to America, they did not even call themselves white or anything like that. They identified themselves by the place of origin, Irish, Italians, Africans. But it is time for black people to stop playing the separating game of geography, of where the slave ship put us down. We must concentrate on where the slave ship picked us up. Africans in the Americas must remember that the slave ships brought no West Indians, no Caribbeans, no Jamaicans, no Trinidadians, and other people to this hemisphere. The slave ship only brought African people, and most of us took the semblance of nationality from the places where the slave ships dropped us off. The role of religion in the domination and destruction of African civilization was ruthless. Islam was as guilty as all the rest. We have to realize sometimes when certain things have been used against us. So this is just an update. Whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth. Ghost Rider 615, please like, share, and subscribe if you find any of this useful, which it should be, because it's scientifically proven. Thank you.